Okay, remind me, who's on my side again?
Nobody. Hi everybody, and welcome to the very first GameCola Debatecast, for which we have no clever name. Today we are debating probably the biggest topic that anyone has as far as in the video game world, as far as debates go, and that is PC games versus console games. With us today are Matt Jonas on the side of consoles, Mark Freedman also on the side of consoles, Stu Gipp, or Jip.
Jip,
I got it. On the side of PC, and not here with us today is Nathaniel Hoover, who had better things to do because he has a life, who is not going to be representing PC anymore. So today we are going to start off with the console side of things, and they will be discussing their first point, and then Stu will be taking over from there.
Thank you.
Console fellows, go right ahead.
Right.
Alrighty.
I disagree.
All right. Do you want to kick it off, Matt, or?
Yeah, I've got a few points here.
Okay.
The first thing I would like to bring to everyone's attention is that consoles tend to be very easy to set up. You plug them into the mains, you plug them into your television, and they're good to go. But a computer, you need to plug in all these sorts of bizarre cables and install all these drivers that by the time you get to playing the games, you've completely forgotten what you set the whole thing up for. What do you have to say to that?
Why would you forget that? Do you have Alzheimer's or something? You've been setting the commitment to setting up a PC. You're like, oh yeah, man, it's like an adventure. It's like a game in itself, you know. There are even achievements, there's cheats, like you have to guard yourself from static, you know. And I mean, I've tried to set up consoles before, and I just, it's much harder. Honestly, it's much harder. I have no base for saying that whatsoever, but it's definitely more difficult to set up a console. I mean, I'm not going to be specifically picky and choosy here, but for example, one of the more popular consoles, the Atari Jaguar, you plug it in and it just wouldn't function frequently, you know? The CD drive was just it wouldn't function. And since there are very few other consoles, I think that basically wraps it up, to be honest.
I think not just physically setting it up, but, whenever you turn on the computer, there's always a new Windows update you got to install, and then you got to reboot your computer 10 times, and it's just, a half hour's gone by the time you get to the loading screen.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been lucky in my life with my computers. I mean, we could, if we're going to do exaggeration, then that's cool. That's opened this up quite a lot more. I find generally with older consoles like the Mega Drive or even the PlayStation 1 or 2, that is genuinely a valid point. Nowadays with 360, I'm going to use as my main example, I've seen, if you've got more than a significant number of downloaded games on there, I would say more than about 4. You're looking at quite a way. I mean, maybe it's just my friend's rubbish 360, but they just seem to take a while to get going and respond to what you're doing. And I'm not going to deny that it's more user friendly to use a console because they're intended for babies. But sorry, but I just find with the PC, they're actually setting the thing up isn't really a facet of gaming on it. Getting it set up is something that you sort of do once and it's already done. And that applies for both, obviously. I think there are more issues that we could be looking at that would more effectively skewer the PC,
I'm not going to argue with you about what you said about multiple games on an Xbox 360 hard drive, because that is true.
Yep.
Xbox 360s do have a habit of sort of keeling over and pissing all over themselves when they've got more than 4 or 5 games installed. But I would say that the fact that PCs take a lot more setting up is a valid point, even if it doesn't necessarily go into running games on it, so to speak. I still think it's a valid point that with a PC there are physical changes that need to be done to the machine. There are software updates and things that need to be done. Although you could just throw straight back at me the PS3, which is loading bar the console. So fair dues.
I mean, this is reason. This is true. I mean, the Xbox 360 and such, you will get software patches quite frequently. That's not inherently a bad thing. My only issue with the 360 one is if you want to play a game now and there's a patch, you've got to download the patch. As far as I know, I could be mistaken.
You don't have to, but if you don't, you have to play it offline.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean,
so if it's a single player game that you don't need to go online for, then you don't have to install the update at all.
I think it's kind of interesting to note, really, that patching games and things like that and updates have been around on the PC since forever, and consoles have kind of taken that route now that they can. It's almost as if they were playing catch up with the PC, you know. And consoles nowadays are more like PCs than they ever have been. And that's pretty much a good thing for everyone, really, because it means the sort of technology with, say, the 360 and the PC is kind of similar, because the 360 is Microsoft. You know, they're sharing a lot of tech. So since the 360 is kind of peaking as far as graphics go, the PC is getting a lot more conversions from that, or conversions or just versions of games that would have not originally just been console only. I mean, there's so many PS2 games that never came out on the PC, obviously. But with the 360, you're hard pressed to find that many exclusives outside of, say, the Halo series, which you can keep. You know, you can have that. You're welcome to the Halo series. Because it's shit. I wasn't sure if I was being clear about that.
Never played it.
It's shit.
You're not missing much.
No, you're... Basically, if you've ever played... I mean, I don't know if you've played Doom before. It's quite obscure. But, like, it's a bit like Doom if it was 3D and worse. See, that's the effort I put into my reviews.
Yeah, I guess I never actually owned an Xbox, so I don't have much to say about that system specifically, except that I know a lot of people that you get the red ring of death and stuff. But although I'm probably talking for the wrong side right now, so
no, you can get a red ring of death without owning a 360, but it's a very complicated and sexual process.
Okay. Keep that in mind.
But you know, no, just to sort of the one speaking about these patches and such. Another reason to favor PC, which is kind of an obvious thing to bring up, is the whole mods and fan-made expansions kind of thing, which is another one where it is going to require some effort on the user's part in order to sort of. I mean, they make it as painless as possible, but you're downloading and manually installing these games. I mean, with a console, obviously, you're pretty much pressing A or X, and then it's coming and it's done. You know. Yeah. But for example, like Elder Scrolls Skyrim, they've just added on the PC Steam version. It's got integration with the Steam Workshop, which basically means downloading mods for that game is a piece of piss. Effectively, it's incredibly easy to do. And the 360 version, while being superb because it's still Skyrim, is never going to have that functionality, which is a shame. And it's something that it's pretty much the main thing I think consoles are missing is this user-made creations. Though we've been having level editors on some 360 games and stuff like that. Like Trials Evolution, I think, has a pretty comprehensive one. But that's one of the main things. That's one of the main things that the PC has that the consoles don't. And for the time being, it doesn't look like they're going to have it because that would require too much control to be taken away from the console itself, if that makes any sense, or the developers or whatever.
Yes.
I think you get what I'm saying, but I'm very bad at speaking.
I do.
Yeah. Has anyone made a joke about this being a mass debate yet?
I was thinking about it. So. I've been holding back very.
Yeah, well,
very
that's
much.
what it is. It's a mass debate. Ha ha ha. Masturbation. Very good.
Yeah, I get it.
Sorry, wait. Could you explain that a little bit more? I'm not.
Basically, mass debate sounds like masturbate.
Also, I'm jerking off.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're more...
I think the thing with Steam is that I mean it's nice that you can get your titles downloaded directly, but things you mentioned like Skyrim, if you downloaded it off of Steam, then you have to be online. Like you have to have Steam running on the computer, and you have to be online for a single player game, which which might not matter for some people, but just seems to kind of be, it's something that could be frustrating.
It is true. I think they've removed the lock in, though. I think they've kind of removed that because I know I've read discussion of the fact that if you launch the executable from outside of Steam, then it will still open and you can still play it. But all the same, even if that is incorrect, and it might be incorrect, you can play Steam in offline mode, but I won't deny it's spotty. Steam in offline mode is ridiculous. They really need to fix that.
It's as annoying as shit because you have to say beforehand, the next time you start up, I want you in offline mode. Otherwise, you can't play Steam in offline mode, which I think is ridiculous.
The thing that's weird for me with Steam, and I'm just going on the wrong side now, is offline mode seriously used to be more compatible than it is now. I remember back when I first got this computer I'm running right now, I could run offline mode reasonably fine. I mean, for some games you'd have to authenticate them every 30 days or so. But it would actually work. And now when I try offline mode, it's just like, what the hell are you doing, bro? What? Why? And you can't. And of course, you can't get achievements in offline mode as well, which you can do on a 360. I'm switching sides.
You're switching sides.
I'm switching sides. I now
consoles are shit.
Okay, fair enough. No, I favour. I do still favour PC for many reasons, but I want to hear your reasons for favouring consoles so I can trash them.
Okay, well, have you got any points, Mark, or do you want me to continue?
Yeah, well, I guess I got one thing I can say. I know a lot of people don't like GameStop because you don't get much money for your games, but it's basically like a pawn shop for your games. You go in and sell your console games, buy used ones, and you can't really do that for PC games. It just never picked up, or you got the problem with CD keys and things like that. And with consoles, it's much easier. I could fly over to England and pick up Matt's UK games and take them back with me, but well, I wouldn't actually do that, but because then you have regional differences. But
damn right you wouldn't. I wouldn't let you. They're my games.
You get to Matt's house and be like, "Excuse me, I've come for your games," and he'll be like, "Who are you? Get off my property."
Yeah, but I can lend them out to my neighbor, and I can play them. And it's it's with PC games you can't really do that, because now with games you have to you register the key and then it's used, and it's that can be frustrating. Although on the other hand, though, I have heard that console games they might require you to be online, and they could kill the used game market soon.
They're looking into that. With PC games, you can trade in retail ones at GameStation, but obviously you can't trade ones that are locked in Steamworks or something like that. And DRM is one of the main things I think that the PC market could do without. But as far as that goes with the game trading in thing, since I'm buying games digitally, nowadays I mainly buy games on Steam, and the main reason for that is they're just infinitely cheaper. And if you're prepared to wait for a game, you will get it for absurdly small amounts of money. But if you want the game on day one, you want to go and spend like £40 or whatever on a game, then you're insane and you should be put away. But
yeah.
No. Really, yes, the fact you can't trade in PC games is a shame, but at the same time, I spend so little on PC games by comparison that I don't feel like I've lost much if I dislike the game, If I'm dropping, say, like, I don't think I've paid full price, and by full price I mean £40, £35, £30, that kind of thing. I don't think I've paid that since I got this PC, because there's just no need to, because there will always be a deal for it, whether they're just selling a key that you can enter in and register the game to your computer, or if you're buying to digitally download. And having said that, you get sites like Green Man Gaming where you can actually trade in games that you've bought from there within reason, and I have done. And they will give you credit for the store, but you just won't be able to download the game anymore from their site, which is a nice sort of it's a nice I don't know how it works out for them, come to think of it, because they don't get another physical copy they can then resell. That's a bit odd, isn't it? Those guys are stupid. That's a terrible business plan. They'll be shut down within a year. They gave away Disciples 2 for free, and I traded it in for £3 of credit. They just gave me free money. Man, those guys terrible businessmen.
I find it strange that your currency is pounds and yet you use the metric system. I find that interesting, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I'm so stupid I don't know which one's the metric system, which one's imperial. It never seemed important to me.
Metric is the one that's like ye olde farm ounces and stuff. People don't realise that we are actually on the imperial system.
Yeah, man, I've been using grams for ages.
I've been using grams and centimetres in school since I was a wee toddler.
Yeah, a wee toddler. Since we were wee toddlers. Toddlers.
Yeah.
Wee toddlers toddling around, learning about birds and the bees. Now I'm going to use the metric system from now on, just to irritate.
Okay.
Do you remember there was like an uproar because like grocers didn't want to change to the imperial system. Fuck off, grocers. Honestly.
I think I might have actually got the two mixed up.
I don't know if you
I
have.
think so.
I'll
Metric
never
is the smart one that everyone but America uses.
Right.
The one that's in base 10. And the imperial system is the one like feet, miles, and hogshead.
Oh god.
Right.
And that's
Furlongs.
why these are better.
Yeah.
But
back to the money thing. I mean,
I only know about games.
Wasn't this a game debate?
No.
back to the money thing, which is what I was trying to go off of. Sorry about that. I think consoles are starting to converge on that to some degree because a lot of the multiplayer games, if you buy them used, you have to still buy an online pass. So you can buy the game used, but it's almost pointless if it's inherently a multiplayer game like Battlefield or Call of Duty.
How much are they? Much of the online
about
passes?
$10.
Yeah,
about
$10
$7 or
US
£8.
dollars. I don't know how that.
That's not terrible, I suppose.
Well, if you're getting
but
a
if you're-
pre-owned
but if
game for a couple of pounds, maybe. But if you're buying it within like a few weeks of the launch, pre-owned, you are actually losing money. You'd be better off just buying it brand new.
The thing is, I kind of feel like I get that because I do think that when you buy pre-owned, the developers or whoever should get some of that money. And as it stands, it goes straight to GameStop or to Game or GameStation or Granger Games or Electronics Boutique or Future Zone or Dixon's or whoever you're trading it into. Sorry, I just got into a bit of a list thing there and started listing shops that don't exist anymore. I think they shouldn't get all of the pound. I mean, if I were to go and buy a copy of like a AAA brilliant game like Brink, for example, and I had to buy like see what I did there. See what I did there. Very good.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you very much, Matt Jonas.
That was sarcastic.
It's in fact shit. That's where the humour lies. And you have to then go and buy you buy this game and you'd basically be getting it, and GameStop would be like, "Aha, give me all the mad pound, haha, we're going to spend it on hookers or whatever." And then the developers are sitting there like, "Well, this one copy of our game is circulating and we're getting jack shit, and now we have to shut down because we're free radical." And I don't know. I'm not 100% cool with that. So I guess the online pass is one way to claw back like a small amount of that money, which I kind of get it. It doesn't make much sense for the first guy who owns a game to get the sort of the free online, and then everyone else to sort of be like, yeah, I'm just going to sort of coast off the back of that, really. I can see why it would buy gamers, though.
If I bought a pair of pants and, I've been eating too many, what do you call them, rock? What are your rock things that you're eating?
Crunchy Rocks.
Yeah, Crunchy Rocks. If I eat too many Crunchy Rocks and now the pants don't fit me and I'm going to sell them to Jonas, I shouldn't be paying. He shouldn't have to pay Levi's a certain amount so he could undo the zipper,
Yeah, but what if he wants to take those pants online? What then?
Then you might have a problem.
See,
they'll probably need patches and things.
I got confused. Yes.
That's right.
Snap.
They come in a zip file. Doesn't really work. And
no, doesn't work.
Pockets of data. They're a pair of trousers. See, I got confused there because when you said pants, I thought you meant underpants because I live in the UK.
Yeah.
And over here,
but that's why they're called underpants.
And that's why
pants.
we call them trousers.
What?
They're called trousers, right?
Trousers. Oh, trousers.
Trousers.
You just reminded me of like a line from what was it? Shooting Stars. Just had me in hysterics.
Yeah, Shooting Stars.
Trousers.
Oh yeah, referencing Shooting Stars on a largely US-centric podcast. This is going to go down really well. Hey, you guys in Rhode Island or whatever, you know Shooting Stars? No, you don't. Don't know what Shooting Stars is, because the only comedy you have over there is How I Met Your Mother. The only comedy show.
That's true.
And don't get me wrong, Neil Patrick Harris, tremendous. But I liked it better when he was hanging around with that Indian dude and the Chinese guy. And in the film. Harold and Kumar. Neil Patrick Harris. Oh, guys, this is central to the whole debate.
I'm not familiar with that because we only have one comedy in this country, and
I see. See, you're rolling with me. I get it. Oh, I'm sorry. I said that you Americans only have one comedy. You have at least 5. Okay. You also have Sanford and Son. You have
we have The Office. Isn't my profile picture Michael Scott?
Oh yeah, The Office. Yeah, that was originally American, as far as I know. Yeah.
Someday Britain will get that too.
And you also have One Foot in the Grave. Oh no, wait, that's British too.
I'm just thinking, wasn't there that amazing American sitcom Red Dwarf that we tried to copy?
Yeah, there was. Have you actually, Matt? Have you seen the Red Dwarf American pilot? It's the shittest thing in the world.
I think I have. Have you seen the American pilot for the IT Crowd?
No, because I'd actually seen the Red Dwarf American pilot before, and it was like a warning from history.
Well, let me ask you this: why is America's Got Talent judged by a bunch of British people? I mean,
I've wondered that myself.
While America has talent, British have critics. So, I mean, we don't have any talent, so we have to go and poach other people's talent.
Although they have been slowly getting rid of the British people, and now it's just Sharon Osbourne.
Does Piers Morgan do that?
No, they kicked him off, or not kicked him off.
Oh, thank God, I wish he'd fucking die.
Yeah.
I hate Piers.
I really wish you guys just kept him, because I don't care for him one bit.
I wish he'd fall off.
We don't want him. We don't want
Morgan,
him.
Can you imagine if Piers Morgan was driving in his car and then he had to pull over and be sick? That would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
That would be funny because he'd be throwing up.
Yeah, and then he slipped in the sick and he fell in it and it got all on his nice suit. And then
that would be hilarious because he'd be covered in sick.
And then a beautiful woman saw him and laughed in his face, and he was like, "Oh," Oh, and then his face exploded and he lived through, but just horribly disfigured.
And Piers Morgan
isn't that what he's like now?
And no, Piers Morgan actually hasn't bought a console since. No, even worse. Piers Morgan owns only a Wii, and he only owns Wii Fit and Wii.
No, that awful prick.
Yeah, he is an awful, awful prick, and I maybe not genuinely, but mostly genuinely, I wish something horrible would happen to him. Because then I wouldn't have to accidentally see his face. I mean, there would be a period where there was like a big, Piers Morgan has died, he's all over the news, but that would be worth it, It would be like, every time I turn the telly on, I'd see the news of Piers Morgan's death, and I'd be like, oh!
Does Piers Morgan read GameCola?
Piers Morgan does not read GameCola because he's a terrible, terrible cunt. I'm sorry.
Oh.
He only plays Wii games.
He only plays Wii games. That's all he ever does.
So of course he doesn't read GameCola.
And he doesn't know how to play them either. He plays them wrong. He holds like the nunchuck in his right hand, and he's like, I don't understand. God, he's rubbish.
So let me bring something up that might kind of bridge the gap between our two sides. I heard rumors that there's going to be a Steam console. Have you guys heard anything about that?
Yeah, it's bullshit, but it's a good idea.
You mean it's bullshit like it's not true? Or
yeah, it's not true,
bullshit?
But it's a good idea.
It's not. I'm reasonably sure it's not true, though I think what they are introducing on Steam is the big picture mode, where you can connect your PC to your telly and it will give you a Steam thing that can be navigated using the control pad. So you can basically sit on the couch and play on, I don't know.
Wow. I'd be interested in that.
But you can just hook your computer directly up to your TV and receiver.
I mean, you could do that anyway.
But troublesome for me before.
But this would basically mean that you could sit there, with your clothes off or whatever, one hand on your control pad, the other hand on your 2-veg, and just open up, say, I don't know, The Path, and play that, I don't know, whatever you want to play on your Steam. If it's me, it would be The Binding of Isaac, but whatever.
The Binding of Isaac.
Sorry, The Binding of
Isaac.
Isaac.
The Binding of Isaac DLC is out tomorrow. My life is going to be ruined. Seriously.
Is that one of those Christian Bible games?
Yes.
It kind of sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it sort of is.
Yeah, it's a Christian Bible game made by Charles Manson.
Do you get to pick up Moses and throw him in the river?
No, you get to pick up the fetuses of your dead siblings. and use them to shoot tears at your own mother who you're trying to murder.
That sounds like a Bible story.
It is like a Bible story, yeah.
It must have been the New Testament, though, because I'm not familiar with it.
It's not just the New Testament, it's actually the Super Bible, Bible 2. Bible harder.
It's the Super New Testament, 1080p.
Bible 2, electric.
Is it? Oh, so it's a sequel to Super Noah's Ark, I guess, because you're killing all the animals there. Okay.
Super Noah's Ark is like a superior version of Wolfenstein, you know. That's all I'm saying. The weird thing about Super Noah's Ark is that, like, 8 levels in, they stop any pretense and it just becomes Wolfenstein. So that's not
with
true.
the original sprites and everything.
That would be great if it was true, though, wouldn't it? If I hadn't just made that up.
You end up just throwing apples and grapes at Hitler.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh no, I don't like fruit. Funny thing about Hitler, vegetarian.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? That says a lot, doesn't it? No, let's not get into that. And also, console gamer.
Really?
Yeah.
Also
Really?
the owner.
Console owner and Wii owner, somehow, yeah. He had Nazi time machine that he used to go forward in time and get the Wii, and he brought it back, and he was like, look, Eva Braun, I brought you this thing where you can pretend like you're playing billiards. And she was like, I don't care, I'm too classy for that. Because I've been forward in time, and I've got myself a Sega Master System. And I was just like, I was there, obviously, and I was just like, nice choice, Eva Braun. Yep.
So Hitler stole your Wii, is that what you're saying?
Hitler stole my lots of things from me, but
Okay.
The Wii was the only tangible one. Everything else was like a metaphysical concept, you know. So, okay, we're 30 minutes in. 30 minutes.
Very good.
30 minutes to go.
Yes, this inaugural debate is going very well.
Thank you. I think it's going tremendously well.
Can we get back to the actual debate?
Actually, back to that Steam console thing, whether it exists or not. You know, you mentioned it's supposed to be like a bridge so that you can easily play games in your home theater.
Yeah.
That's the big thing for consoles for me, is that I can, you know, it's built to be plugged into your TV and receiver easily, and you can just sit on the couch, clothing optional, you know.
Yeah.
But if you have like a gaming computer, you're probably using it for, you know, doing your taxes and your grandma's playing solitaire and all sorts of stupid stuff.
Yeah,
you can't really easily set it up to work at a desktop. What's that?
Yeah. My grandma's actually dead, so, you know, that's a really nasty way to win a debate. Sorry, that's carry on, that's pointless.
Okay.
I don't care. I'm glad she's dead. Go on.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so you probably have your gaming computer like on a regular desk where you know, your dead grandmother plays solitaire, and you know, it's hard to hook up to your TV at the same time.
It is hard, but it is doable. It is difficult though. I won't deny that. They're going to make that easier with this whole Steam Big Picture mode thing. But
I thought that doesn't exist though.
It doesn't exist. Well, it exists, but it's coming. The Big Picture thing is coming. The Steam console thing isn't, as far as I know. They're going to be showing Big Picture mode at E3 this year, which I believe starts tomorrow. Is that correct? Does anyone know? It feels like
I don't know, but it's soon.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm still getting over my grandmother dying, so.
I'm sorry about that. If it's any consolation, I had no part in her death. I was absolutely absolved from that. I wasn't present.
She was just sitting there playing solitaire on my gaming PC, and then she just keeled over. So.
I'm sorry about that, dude. It was a similar story for me, actually. She was playing on Super Buster Move on the Super Nintendo, and she got to World 100, and she was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Why'd they suddenly change the gameplay out of nowhere? And then she had an embolism. And I sort of like carried on playing the game for about 4 hours. And then
Is that the Bubble Bobble game that...
Yeah, Bubble. Yeah. I mean, I carried on playing for like 4 hours, and then I was like, I should probably do something about this corpse. And then I'm not going to reveal what happened next, actually. I'll just leave that to the imagination. So, moving on. Let's. And she, of course, console gamer, dead now. Coincidence? Don't think so. Yep. Sorry, but console's guilty.
I thought this was going to be a real debate.
It is a real debate.
I came with notes and everything.
Really? Okay, yes, use your notes. Let's do this thing. Come on.
Well, I'd like to say that with consoles, there is not only a lot of third-party developer support, there's a lot of third-party developers who create new peripherals and new games for the system, but I'd also like to say that there is a lot of first-party developer support, that the creators of the console themselves take the time to release proper games for their system, that you don't necessarily see Apple releasing games specifically for Mac that they have developed that are big AAA title games. And the same with Windows and Microsoft releasing big AAA games exclusively for their system.
For example,
not like Gears of War 3 being exclusive to the Xbox 360 and Uncharted 3 being exclusive to the PlayStation 3. That there doesn't really seem to be those sort of Uncharted 3 or Gears of War 3 kind of games that come to the PC or the Mac from their first-party developer. Do you not think?
Can I just say that is an interesting point. I want to say at this point, can we completely absolve Macs from the equation? Because who gives a shit? I mean, really, honestly, about Macs.
I don't either, but I felt like, maybe the one Mac fan who listens to the GameCola podcast,
hates me now, furious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like, with Mac fans, what I like to do is I like to make really out-of-date, unreasonable arguments like, there's only one mouse button, when there's been two for years, And they're just like, what are you talking about, you maniac? You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, yeah, as for your actual point, as opposed to just another half an hour of me just talking shit, forgotten what you were saying. No, I haven't. Yeah, AAA games like the stuff like Uncharted and Gears, that is something that's missing from the PC. I mean, the PC did get Gears of War 1, which is the same as Gears of War 3, but that's not much to write home about. And the PC is kind of, in a sense, it is lacking in those kind of things, but more or less every third-party game does come to the PC, and it's normally the best version when it does, in terms of customizability, graphics, the fact you can get online, get mods, etc., etc. I mean, what's considered a bad PC port is generally one that hasn't been changed from the console, or I mean, sometimes you'll get anomalies, like you'll get like the Resident Evil 4 that originally came out for the PC. I don't know if any of you guys played that. They had to patch in
shadows.
mouse support. They
Zero
had to patch
shadows.
in. Mouse support was patched in. It wasn't in by default, which is hilarious, But yeah, no shadows as well, absolutely.
The PC port of Saints Row 2 is absolutely despicable.
Well, it's
one of the worst ports I have ever played.
In their defense with that one, that came out when XP was the main thing, and on XP it works absolutely fine. If you try and play it in Windows 7, then you're fucked. But in their defense, that was built for XP. Now I've said that, that's brought me on to another cogent anti-PC argument, hasn't it?
Yeah. One that I had lined up.
Yeah, let's do that one instead. That's a more interesting one to debate, I think. With PCs, you will get compatibility issues with older games, but at the same time, with consoles, if you want to play old games from previous console, you pretty much need that console, right? There isn't really
for the most
work
part,
now.
yeah.
With a PC, I mean, I'm going to out myself as an outright criminal now. What I've got here with my PC is I've got pretty much the PC library, which is more or less the same as the Xbox 360 and PS3's third-party library, plus all the indie games that come out for the PC, And hang on, there's people talking to me on Steam. Another problem with PCs, just going to get rid of them. Dead now, all of them.
Yep.
But it's pretty powerful. You can
shut
kill people
up,
remotely.
PC guy. There we go. And see, I've lost my train of thought now because some guy tried to talk to me because I'm so popular. Damn. What were we saying?
I was
Matt,
asking
you
if
weren't
you can kill
listening,
people remotely.
I can't remember.
Oh my god.
My memory is that bad.
Oh, I remember now. Effectively, we've got a machine that's capable of playing PC games from any console made from the birth of consoles till around, well, the Wii, pretty much. With a couple of notable exceptions. I mean, I can run Wii games off the legitimately purchased disc, obviously, the police. I can play the Wii games off their much higher res than the consoles are capable of doing.
That is true.
In the future, that will be... Oh, and with controls that aren't made for people who have problems. And in... I don't like the Wii controls. And in the future, we will be able to play these current console games, but... Interestingly enough, the actual divide between the console and the PC has never been less. I think consoles are closer to PCs and vice versa than they ever have been. Because I mean, I've got my Xbox 360 pad plugged into my PC, and I can just boot up a game. It will show all the prompts, and for all intents and purposes, I'm playing a 360 game. You know?
That is true. Yes.
The only difference is I'm playing a 360 game on something much more powerful and with much more connectivity and scope for improvement. With the 360 and etc. I'm sorry I'm focusing on the 360. It's the one I have the most experience with. I hope that's okay with folks. That seems to be the sort of middle ground, you know?
Yeah, all I need to do is point out that the PS3 is still extremely powerful.
Yes, it is.
And
I'm
as a console, PCs has still got a way to go before they can go up against it. But also, most third-party developers focus on the Xbox 360, Wii, and then PS3. So the games are normally not using that to its full capabilities, so to speak. So third-party games on PS3 don't necessarily use it to its full advantage. Anyway, as you were saying...
Yeah. That's an interesting point, now that you mentioned that, because there was a period of about a couple of years when they would port a console game to the PC, they would port the PS2 or the Wii version, even if there was a high-def version available. Like,
maybe it was easier to port it.
Well, I think it was, yeah, but that still is laziness. But I mean, nowadays you'll get the PC version come out, and it will be basically it will be the console game, but with better graphics, effectively, or the DLC will be in for free or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, as I was saying, since the divide is now so small, people are sort of... There's very much a sort of an online movement, if nothing else, which is like, this game's coming out on consoles whenever. PC version will come out maybe a bit later, which is very common, which is another thing you could pull me up on. But people will say, I'll wait for the PC because, you know, it's going to be better. I mean, I'm trying to think of games that have come out recently on console but have been undeniably better on PC. And the only one I can think of...
I've got a couple that are actually much better on PC than they are on consoles.
I think the main one for me is Sonic Generations.
Yeah, Sonic Generations was one that I was going to mention. And also Dead Island. As far as I'm concerned, Dead Island is practically unplayable on the Xbox 360. The controls just feel so stiff, and it just looks so washed out. I do admit the PC version looks much better and plays much better.
That was on sale on Steam about 3 days ago for $8.99. And I bought it, and I installed it, and I can't get on with it at all. I don't understand that game. I think it's Jank City, seriously. It's such an irritating game, just running around, constantly your weapons are breaking. Even more than they do on Dead Rising, you know?
Well, let me put it this way. It's at least 3 times as bad on the 360.
And going on to something like Sonic Generations, I don't think I'm wrong, but the 360 and PS3 versions, I believe, are 30 frames per second.
Yes, I believe that is right.
The PC version is not, and it looks freaking lovely.
Also, the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions, as far as I'm aware, have full motion video for the cutscenes, while the PC version does not.
Really?
Yes.
Surprised at that.
Rasterized, ugly videos for the FMVs.
Yeah.
And generally, there just seems to be less lag from your inputs on the PC version. That you press a button and action happens. You press a key and action happens. On the Xbox 360, there is a slight lag from pressing the buttons. And where I was getting S ranks on the PC version, moving on to the 360, I was dying constantly over and over. I knew it was that was responsible because the game just felt a bit slower, which fits your argument about frame rate as well.
By and large, though, because we've switched sides a bit now, but by and large, that isn't true of console ports. The console versions will generally be, like, fine, you know? The PC version being significantly better is rarely the case. They'll usually be better if you know what you're looking for, but punter isn't going to know, you know what I mean? They're not going to recognise that something's been bump mapped better or whatever, you know? I don't know.
No.
It's not. You can play console games in 1080p, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think the PS3 has problems with that, I could be mistaken.
The game has to be made with 1080 in mind. I mean, there's a lot of Xbox 360 games that straight up on the back of the box say 720 on the back, and PS3
Can you
games
not
that just say
force them to
720.
Can you upscale them? Can you force them to upscale?
I don't think you can. I think it switches to 720 mode. And the reason why I think that is because I do a lot of video game footage recording.
Yeah.
And when I was trying to record footage of House of the Dead 3, I had my PlayStation 3 in 1080 mode. I began recording and it switched to 720p. And that was because the game was only 720 and it made that video file completely unusable.
Yeah, I think if you have it hooked up to a receiver, the receiver can do the upscaling, but the console itself can't. And that being said, there's hardly any PS3 games that actually do 1080p. The only one I can think of is Metal Gear Solid 4. That's the only one I can think of.
Metal Gear Solid 4 does, yes. I think maybe Uncharted 2 and 3 might. But I'm not sure about the first one.
I do find that is a bit of a downside, but that's mainly because it's only since, and I know I keep saying this, only since I got this computer with this monitor, but because before that I was kind of like, oh, it doesn't really matter because, you know, how much better can it be, you know? And then I got Bioshock, put it on in 1920 by 1080, and my eyes fell out and landed on my crotch, and started massaging it, and brought me to orgasm.
Tell it slow. Tell it slow.
Yeah, well, that's not the story, really. But I don't know. I mean, if I was to have played, it's like if I go back to stuff that's in 480p now, I am actually like, ow, my eyes, it's blurred. I can't see what's happening.
It's true. For the most part, I do love playing PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games. Still, I am still a very big fan of those systems.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at a game like Okami, or you're looking at a game like the Naruto games, and they're done in that sort of cartoony style, now, looking at that in 480p, it's just a mess of colours. You can't make anything out. And back in the day, that used to be acceptable. That used to be what we'd say, that looks amazing. And now, we've been spoiled,
it's so
basically.
hard to go back. It's so hard. Yeah, we have been spoiled. It's so hard to go back to SD now. Although, having said, of course, consoles aren't in SD, and the lion's share of the big name games are going to be in 1080p, you know.
Except for the Wii, of course.
Oh, yeah, but the Wii isn't even a real console, is it? I mean, you know,
the Wii is just a GameCube with new controls on it.
With worse controls on it.
I'll give you that.
You can hook a GameCube controller up to it.
I mean, Donkey Kong Country Returns, you know, damn it, we've completely moved on now. It doesn't matter if we've moved on though, does it? Really, you know. Now you're talking about the Wii, goddammit. I mean, I played Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii at my friend's house, and I got really frustrated with the rolling. And I know people say that you get used to it, but I don't feel like I should have to get used to it. I feel like I'm playing it despite that rather than rolling with it. No pun intended. But when
is it not very good then?
Then I played it on Dolphin. No, it's a great game. It's a wonderful platform game, genuinely wonderful. One of the best games I played in the year that it came out. I absolutely loved it. I recommend it to anyone. But if you want to roll, you got to shake. And you are going to shake.
That's like the grenades in Metal Slug. It's practically unplayable.
You are going to shake by accident, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
When you play a game that's that difficult and intense. And I played it on my PC after that. I got it on Dolphin. I put it on Dolphin, put it in high res, played it on my PC, mapped shake to the right trigger on my Xbox controller, and had a fucking blast. You know?
Yeah.
If I played that on my on a Wii, I would have never finished it. I would have gotten pissed off, especially with some of those secret levels which need insane precision. Would never have done it. I played New Super Mario Bros. Wii on Dolphin, high res, brilliant, had great fun.
Runs beautiful on there.
In that game, you have to shake to pick stuff up. Why? Why would you have that? You know, it's ridiculous. It's like
it's funny what you were saying earlier about PC ports being better, but hold on. I'll hold on to that thought if you were saying something else.
No, well, basically, I was just sort of saying it's like Nintendo know that they fucked up and they're just having to put motion controls in now because it's what they have, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. And you've got stuff like the Kinect, which isn't like the Wii, to be fair, but the Kinect and Move have come out. And with the Kinect, though it isn't like the Wii in terms of its input, almost all the games that have come out for it are like the Wii.
They do work better on Kinect, and I'm not just saying that
Yeah,
to
they do.
justify £120 because I also have a Wii and I also have a Move, and I can say beyond all reasonable doubt that the Kinect is the most accurate of them all.
Yeah, it is. The problem
Mm.
is that other than the gun stringer, which I thought was really cool,
They're all dancing games.
I've not played anything that I actually enjoyed.
Now you see,
And
that's why I'm
I-
happy.
I
I
remember
love my dancing games.
the thing with Kinect. You know what that reminds me of is the iToy.
Yeah, it's
a
very
lot.
similar. It's very
Yeah.
similar.
And there's a game on the iToy called iToy Groove, which is pretty much one of the Kinect games as well.
Yeah,
Which is really
but
odd.
then again, the iToy, which eventually became the PlayStation Eye for the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation Eye has several games for it, including Kung Fu Live, which is just another iToy game that's been released on PS3 instead. Anyway,
Yeah. No, this
I
is
wanted to
relevant though. I mean, the PC hasn't got this motion controls thing. If you want to play your family games,
Well,
you know.
not yet. It's coming. There is
there was stuff
Kinect
like-
for Microsoft PC now.
Yeah, but you know,
There will be a time when it becomes the next peripheral for PC games, and it will be an option.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with that is, and with motion controls in general, I can't get on with them because I just like my controls to work.
Yeah.
I like to work 100% of the time, and if they don't, I don't want to play the game because I am not all about the winning. I'm not like a winning Nazi, but if I lose, I want it to be because I'm shit and not because the controls.
I want to lose because of my own fault. In a game like
fat-handed twat.
in a game like Super Meat Boy, where you lose because you fucked up.
Yeah.
Those are the games I like. Because when you lose, it's your fault.
Boy, did I like that
It's
game.
not bad controls. It's your problem.
Yeah.
I do want to make this point about PC ports because I'm jumping on your side for a moment.
Yeah.
What you were saying earlier about the bad Wii controls.
Yeah.
Cave Story, which was released on WiiWare,
Yeah.
had weapon switching on the B button on the back of the Wii remote. And you'd constantly be pressing that by accident, and you'd be switching weapon right in the middle of an intense gunfight.
Yeah.
And then the PC version comes along, and it's the PC version Cave Story Plus, of course, not the original that's still free. Cave Story Plus comes along, and it's got all the additions from the Wii version, much better controls, and a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, your point stands there on that one.
Yeah, I feel like, because we're running out of time, I think, aren't we?
We're getting there. We have, I'd say, another 5 to 10 minutes.
I feel like, really, the crux of it is they both have... Now, this is going to be contentious, I think, because I can't think of a way to word this. It doesn't make me sound like a tremendous dick.
Do it.
The way I kind of see it is, I do feel like PCs are kind of like the Technica to the console's Lego. Does that make any sense?
Sort of.
They're like, if consoles are Lego, then PCs are like Meccano.
I don't know. I feel more like if PCs are Lego, then consoles are Duplo.
Yeah, that works better actually. Man, I'm
Yeah,
loving all
that's
these.
what I was thinking.
I'm loving these metaphors. Basically, yeah, I feel like if consoles are like Subway, then PCs are Quiznos. You know, they're just better. No, I feel like the effort required to get the PC to running games basically is obviously more, and it is more. I'm not going to deny that. It's not plug and play really, you know, but it's worth it in the end. It's like what you're getting. The output is much better generally. I mean, you will have problems with PCs because they're PCs. You will struggle with compatibility, and you will get blue screens, and you'll be like, why has this happened? You know, but the times that the sort of the highs are worth it, really. I mean, playing BioShock on PC, the original one in HD, just incomparable. Playing, stuff like Orange Box and TF2 for free on the PC, just brilliant. Fantastic experiences. And on the console, it's like, yeah, you can get these same games. You're taking a little bit of a graphical hit. You're taking a hit in terms of the people you're going to be playing with online because they're all going to be 13-year-old racists.
True.
But sorry, that's slightly unreasonable, perhaps.
No,
but
it's true.
No, I've played online. It's not unreasonable at all.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to be any different depending on what console or system you're playing on, though.
I suppose that's true. I mean, it's maybe the PC racists are just not quite so obvious about it. I don't know. Maybe they're more subtle racists. Because I mean, let's face it, everyone on the internet is a racist in some way.
In some form.
Yeah, but no, I mean,
Yanks.
I've had I've had a few, like, I've only played on Xbox Live a few times, and every single time I've been abused. So even if it's to the point where I was playing some game and I kept saying over message, look, I'm going to have to go in like 10 minutes. I've got to drop out in like 10 minutes. I've got to go. My real life is in the way. And then I dropped out, and like a second later I got a message that just said pussy. And I'm like, I don't know if that's an offer or an insult,
Well, I can admit that there's a lot of nasty people on Xbox Live. I was playing Guitar Hero World Tour on Xbox Live, and I don't mean to big myself up as a player, but I trounced this guy, right? And I sent him a friend request, because as I do when I play against people and I either beat them outright or they give me a challenge, I sort of add them as a friend so I can get into matches with them later. And I just got a message back, F you. One word, F you.
2 letters, technically.
Yeah, 2 letters. And I was just blown aback by that.
Matt, what did the F stand for?
It stood for fuck.
Thank you. I didn't know. I got one more question, Matt.
Yeah.
What did the U stand for?
It stands for you.
But U begins with a Y, Matt.
Yep. Like we said, 13-year-old racists.
It might have been Friendship Unlimited, though. Maybe he was responding.
Oh, you're right.
To the friend request.
Damn it! Now I feel like such an idiot.
You're so judgmental.
You had a friend forever.
It could have been your wife.
I don't think Matt would marry someone that was so bad at Guitar Hero, though.
No, I don't think he would either.
Well, I did notice Matt's wording where he said that he only friend requests people who gave him a challenge or that he beat, but never people that beat him.
No, those people can fuck off.
They can just fuck right off. F you.
I think the only game where I ever befriended people who beat me was what's it called? Puzzle Fighter?
Oh, yeah, Super Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah, because one of the guys I played on there who absolutely kept trouncing me, he was a real challenge. Turns out he likes all the old first-person shooters as well, and we've done co-op runs on Doom and Doom 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Doom is
awesome.
superb.
Doom is superb, and the Xbox port is pretty neat.
Yeah, that's one thing I am actually jealous of that the Xbox gets is the Live Arcade, because while most of the Live Arcade stuff comes out on Steam, there are a handful of things I haven't, and they're awesome. Want them. Stuff like Castle Crashers.
Crashers, yeah.
Yeah, and there are others, but I now can't think what they are. They generally are others, though.
Minecraft's not on Steam, and you certainly can't play that on a PC.
No, Minecraft is sadly not available on PC. I wish it were. I only wish it were,
Yeah, being released on Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And Wii.
Yeah, oh god,
and iPad.
I really, 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 really wish I'd never got Minecraft. It's so compulsive, it's ruinous.
It is so compulsive.
I've had to take it away forever. Good thing I don't like crafting.
I don't like the crafting because it's too complicated. I see in the Live Arcade version that they've got these checklists that show you exactly what you can build. And while that doesn't take the challenge out of it, it does coincide with your point about consoles being for babies.
Yeah, it does.
Because it simplifies the whole crafting process.
Yeah. So anyway, what about handhelds, you guys? No.
Well, you see, the thing is, I like to think that handhelds are consoles and therefore are better than PC. There's some games... Let me just put it this way. There are some games that you would only find on a handheld console that you'd never find on a PC. And for handhelds, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But any
Like
game that's
really amazing shit like Rayman 3D, you know,
don't go there.
or Mod Nation Racers on the Vita.
Basically, what I'm saying is any game that's been released on a console and is also released on a portable, or any game that's released on a PC and is also released on a portable, is better on its original system than it is on the handheld.
Yeah, that's true.
So before you go Rayman 3D or Mod Nation Racers, both those games are shit anyway on their original systems.
You know how the Vita sounds like a cracker? Isn't that great?
You know how the Vita is shit?
No, I don't know that, but it can't be shit in the 3DS. It can't be.
It's so much shitter than the 3DS.
I think it's a game console for vegans, right? I think Hitler used one.
Yeah, I think he did. I think it's a game console for people who want the systematic extermination of all of the Jews. Possibly.
By coincidence, I bought a PlayStation Vita.
Ah.
I can safely
and
say
you're very much a great campaigner for that. So yeah.
All I want to say is that it's pretty terrible. Don't make the mistake of buying one, or at least wait until there's a game on it that you actually want. The Uncharted game is good, but it's not like the console. Again, if you want that game, get it on a console. Damn it! Don't get it on a board.
My handheld output these days is watching anime on my PSP and playing Sega Master System games on my DS. That is more or less all of the actual DS games are off it. I now only have emulators on there.
Well, you see, me, because I use the 3DS a lot, I've actually started buying all these old DS games that I used to play and actually playing them on the go. But the problem with the 3DS is that it upscales the screen, but it makes it all blurry. It doesn't do it sharp.
Can't you turn it off?
Do it properly. It's all blurry. No, you can't change it.
What?
And also, on another point, the Virtual Console releases on the 3DS for Game Boy games, where they've had a Super Game Boy color scheme, like Donkey Kong and like Kirby's Dream Land 2. The 3DS versions don't support them. Don't have the Super Game Boy colors, which I think
that's a bit shit.
Is fucking shit. Yeah, it's the only reason why I haven't bought any of those Game Boy games besides not Ocarina of Time, Link's Awakening DX, because that one is actually a Game Boy Color game.
That's one of the best games ever made, instantly.
It is one of the best games ever made.
Can't get that on the PC. Oh wait, yes you can, illegally.
It's not illegal if you own the cartridge and you own the system.
Yes, it is, Matt. It is still illegal.
Is it?
Yeah, it's still illegal.
It's a good job I don't have it on my system.
I don't think so. It's just a backup.
It's just that nobody gives a shit. No, I mean, it's one of those things where technically it is illegal to download the ROM. It is. This has been covered in depth, but nobody cares about emulation. It's completely, nobody cares. It's not cracked down on at all. I mean, you can't buy R4 cards over here in the UK now. I know you can't. You're not allowed to purchase them, but they're not going to stop you.
You're not allowed to purchase them. You're not allowed to use them. You're not allowed to own them.
Oh wow! I'm going to prison.
They are completely outlawed over here.
Guys, I'm going to prison.
Bye.
I'm
well,
not now, Matt.
Well, that and
they only
the
have
treason the other
in jail,
week.
though.
Oh God, you're right.
They still haven't got you for the treason yet.
Yeah, in jail I'm not going to be. Oh yeah, the treason from the last podcast. Yeah. Well, I hope they don't. Plus, God, that reminds me of that time, Mike, because I left my hard drive at the radio station where I go, and I was horrified. I was like, what if someone looks on my hard drive? What then? What about all that anime I downloaded? What the things they will see? Good Lord. Thankfully, it was fine, and I mean they're all dead now, just in case. It's all fine. And in conclusion, PCs are just better, and people who like consoles probably going to rape you.
Wrong.
Okay.
In conclusion, both are good for their own points. I prefer consoles.
In conclusion, Matt smells.
In conclusion, you're wrong.
And Mark, do you have a conclusion?
I conclude that regardless of your level of racism, there's a gaming platform out there for you.
I like that conclusion.
All right.
And Oh, we settled the debate, and we were all friends forever after that.
We're all
Unless you beat
friends
Matt
unlimited.
in what is it called, Guitar Hero, right?
Yeah, then I probably will unfriend
F
you.
you.
Yeah.
Then that will
Okay.
be the end.
Well, then that concludes the very first debate, and we'll have some kind of voting mechanism on the page where you're listening to this, so you can decide which side was the most racist. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening
Thank you.
and for
Thanks.
participating.
I have to go shave my balls.